So what if I told you that one of the biggest, most important geopolitical stories of our time is happening, like, right now, and most of us are completely missing it? We're talking about this quiet but absolutely massive power shift that is literally redrawing the map of the world, and it all centers on one place, the Middle East.
For generations, we all kind of knew the rules of the game in the Middle East, and we knew who the players were. But now, there's a new superpower on the scene. And here's the thing, they're not just playing by different rules, they're trying to rewrite the whole rule book. And figuring out this new game, well, it's absolutely crucial for all of us. All right, so how do we even start to unpack China's grand plan? Well, the easiest place to start is usually the most obvious one. Just follow the money. And in this case, it's a trail of billions and billions of dollars that takes us right to the heart of their strategy. Okay, just think of China as this giant, continent-sized factory. And what does a factory need more than anything else? It needs power. It needs fuel, energy, right? So where do you go to find the world's biggest, most reliable gas station? Yep, the Middle East. So at its very core, it's a pretty simple transaction. China needs the energy, and the Middle East has got it. Now, I'm sure you've heard about the Belt and Road Initiative, or the BRI. This thing is one of the most ambitious projects in all of human history. Just picture a new Silk Road for the 21st century. But forget camels and caravans, we're talking high-speed trains, massive shipping ports, and pipelines crisscrossing the entire globe, all designed to plug China into new markets, new resources, and of course, new friends. What's really fascinating, though, is how the DRI has changed over time. The first version? It was all about big, flashy, look-at-me projects. Giant stadiums, brand new cities. It was like they were building a bunch of shiny new megamalls. But now, they've gotten a whole lot smarter. They've shifted to the stuff that actually powers the future. The digital infrastructure, the green energy. They're not just building the malls anymore. Now they're building the internet, the power grids, and the health tech that runs the whole city.
But this is where things get really, really interesting. Because, this isn't just about business deals. Nope. Underneath all that economic stuff, there is a super high-stakes game of geopolitical chess being played. And China's main opponent, you guessed it, the United States.
And this is the key to understanding the whole thing. Every single move China makes in the Middle East is made with one eye on its rivalry with the U.S. Let me put it this way. For decades, the U.S. has been kind of like the neighborhood cop, providing security, keeping things in line. And now, China rolls into town as this super-rich new developer who's not interested in policing anybody, but is very interested in writing huge checks and building a ton of new stuff, with no questions asked. And this slide right here perfectly lays out their different playbooks. The U.S. game is all about security, alliances, and, pushing for reforms. China's playbook, it's the total opposite. They show up as an economic partner, and they do this thing called elite capture, which is just a fancy way of saying they focus on making friends with the people at the very top. And their golden rule, non-interference. They basically say, hey, we don't care how you run your country, we just want to do business. And let me tell you, for a lot of leaders in that region, that is a very, very attractive sales pitch. This quote from diplomat Rick Waters just nails China's strategy for years. They've been what experts call a hedging state. All that really means is that they've been getting all the benefits of the security and stability that the U.S. provides, but without having to pay for any of it. It's kind of like having a free 24/7 security guard for your business while you just focus on raking in the cash. It's a pretty sweet deal if you can get it. But look, this isn't just about money and power politics. China is playing a much, much bigger game here. What they're really trying to do is sell the entire world a whole new story, a completely different vision for what the 21st century is supposed to look like. And to get this new story, you have to understand this term, the Global South. It's basically the name for this huge group of developing nations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America that often feel like they're on the outside looking in on the current world order. And China's big goal? It's simple. They want to be the captain of that team. This quote from Jude Blanchette at CSIS, it's the perfect summary of China's pitch. They're pointing at all the chaos and conflict in the world and basically saying, see, the old way, the Western-led way, it's breaking down. It doesn't work anymore. But don't worry, we're here now, and we've got new solutions. And these aren't just empty words either. China is actually rolling out a whole lineup of new products to back this stuff up. They've launched this global security initiative, a global development initiative. They're even jumping in as a peacemaker, brokering deals between enemies who haven't talked in years, like Iran and Saudi Arabia. They are working hard to position themselves as the world's new go-to problem solver. Okay,
So we've covered the money, the rivalry with the US, and the big idea they're selling to the world. So let's get down to it. What's the bottom line? What does China actually want? What does winning even look like for them in the Middle East?
From what experts are saying, China is definitely playing the long game. In the short term, let's say the next 5 years, their goal is pretty straightforward. Just keep the region stable enough so that the oil keeps flowing. But their long-term vision, looking out maybe 15 years, that's way more ambitious. They want to help build a whole new security system in the Middle East, one that's run by the countries in the region themselves, which, of course, would pretty much push the US right out of the picture.
So that's what it all boils down to. You have the established global power on one side and the rising economic giant on the other. One offers security and long-standing alliances, the other offers a ton of cash in a hands-off approach. As this incredible geopolitical drama plays out, it leaves us with one massive looming question. When it's finally time to choose sides, who will the countries of the Middle East ultimately bet on? The answer to that question could very well shape the world for the rest of our lives.